Vandeham.
The following is a class on Nectar of Devotion 12, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on 1st November 1972 in Vrindavan.
In relation to Krishna. In order to keep the purity of such Krishna conscious activity, one must be free from all material desires and philosophical speculation. Any desire except for the service of the Lord is called material desire, and philosophical speculation refers to the sort of speculation which ultimately arrives at a conclusion of voidism or impersonalism. This conclusion is useless for a Krishna conscious person. Only rarely by philosophical speculation can one reach the conclusion of worshipping Vasudeva, Krishna. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad-gita itself. The ultimate end of philosophical speculation, then, must be Krishna, with the understanding that Krishna is everything, the cause of all causes, and that one should therefore surrender unto him. If this ultimate goal is reached, then philosophical advancement is favorable. But if the conclusion of philosophical speculation is voidism or impersonalism, that is not bhakti.
There is a verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Vasudeva Param Vida, Vasudeva Param Gyanam, Vasudeva Param Gatim. So, unless one is led to the conclusion, Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Gyan, Vairagya, Karma, anything that you are trying to achieve, if it is not targeted to the realization of Vasudeva, then Samayeva hi keval. That is the conclusion of Bhagavad. Whatever you do, the ultimate goal should be realization of Vasudeva, Krishna. Vedaisya sarvai ahameva Veda. All Vedic conclusion should be ultimately to realize Vasudeva Krishna. Bhaunam janmanamanti. This realization is achieved after many, many births of philosophical speculation, mystic, yogic exercise, or fruitive activities. Koti kormi madhye ek jnani srashti. To become karmi is the third class stage of life. One has to make progress further so that one may become self-realized, Brahma Bhuta. So, out of many, many karmis, one jnani or one who has realized his identification, he is better. And out of many millions of jnanis who are trying to realize his self by philosophical speculation, Brahma Jnana. So, one mukta or liberated soul is better. And out of many thousands of liberated souls, it is said by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it is very rare to find out a pure devotee of Krishna. The conclusion is, a pure devotee of Krishna is picked up out of many, many liberated persons. Mukta Sangasya Jaya. Krishna realization, Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam, Mukta Sangasya Jaya. Bhagavat Tattva, the true, the absolute truth, which is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavat Tattva Vijnana. Tattva means true, and that is Bhagavan. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti. Brahma realization is not all. One has to go further. Paramatma realization. One has to go further. When one comes to realization of Bhagavan, Saraisarja Purna Bhagavan. Bhagavan means full with 6 kinds of opulences, person. Sachidananda Vigraha, Sarva Karana Karana. That is ultimate goal of life. Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Such kind of Mahatma is very rare. That is the verdict of all Vedic literature and confirmed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Koti Mukta Madhye Dullabha Krishna Bhakta. Krishna Bhakta, a pure devotee of Krishna, he is very rarely to be found out amongst the muktas, amongst the liberated souls. Others are trying to become liberated. But Krishna Bhakta is above liberation. Pancham Purushartha. People are busy for dharma, artha, kam, moksha. Some of them are busy to become religious. Of course, without religious life, there is no human society. Dharmena hina pasuvi samana. Unless a society takes to religiosity, it is not human society. Therefore, we see any civilized human society, there is a kind of religious system. It doesn't matter whether it is Hinduism, Christianism, or Buddhism, or Mohammedanism, but there must be a religious system. Without this system, that human society is not considered as human society. There is animal society. I understand that in America, the Red Indians, who are supposed to be not civilized, they had also a religious system. So maybe a perverted form of religious system. Similarly, in India also, there are primitive races in the jungles. They have also. Religious system means approving the authority of some supreme being. That is religious system. So, in the animal society, there is no such conception that there is God. We have got some relationship with God. What is that relationship? This type of discussion cannot be present in the animal society. So, dharma, artha, kam, moksha. Generally, religious system is taken for improving social and economic condition. Artha. Artha means economy. Artha is required for sense gratification. We require economic development for our sense gratification. And when one is completely satisfied, then he can cultivate about spiritual realization, moksha, apavarga. So, dharmasya apavargasya artha na arthaya upakalpati. So, dharma is not meant for developing economic condition, that is secondary, but dharma is meant for ultimate goal of liberation. People do not know that. People are not educated that what is the ultimate goal of life. Still, they take to religious life as a compromise between the contending elements that we must live peacefully under religious system. The aim is how to live in this material world peacefully. Sometimes religion and God is conceived in that way. That if we have some conception of God, then we shall be moral, we shall be peaceful. Otherwise, there is no need of presenting God in the society. There are so many different opinions, different philosophers, different religious systems according to the modes of nature. But actually, every system must be targeted towards realization of Krishna or God. Vedaischa sarvai ahamiva veda. That is Bhagavad-dharma. Bhagavad-dharma means realization of the Supreme Personality of God. Prahlad Maharaj recommended culture of this Bhagavad-dharma from the very beginning of life. Kaumaro acharit prajna dharman bhagavataniha. That is the success of human form of life, to execute Bhagavad-dharma. The process and dharma, as we have several times explained, dharma means the course of Bhagavan. Dharmantu sakshat bhagavat pranit. So this Krishna consciousness movement is directly touching the point, not step by step. There is no time. In the Kali Yuga, there is very little time to go step by step. Otherwise, there are 20 different types of religious scriptures, Vingshati Prakar, Dharma Shastra. So we will read and we will try to understand. There is no time. Prayana alpo ayusha, kalau asmin juge jana. People are very short living and they are not very enthusiastic for self-realization. Manda. Even there somebody becomes interested in self-realization, they accept some wrong path. Manda sumanda matayu. They have got different mata, opinion or path. And the so-called Swamis, they also support that whatever opinion you have got about religious system, that is all right. Jato mat tato pa. But actually, the fact is different. The fact is that one should take simply to the devotional path, bhaktamava vijana. If you are actually serious to know God or Krishna, then you must take to this process of devotional service. Without this, you cannot understand. Not through karma, not through speculation, not through mystic yogic exercises, but through devotional service. Bhaktamam abhijana, javan jaschami tattva. That is stated clearly in the Bhagavad. But people do not know it. Anartha upasamam sakshat bhakti yogam adokhaji. Bhakti yogam, execution of bhakti yoga, is the means of anartha upasam. subduing the anarthas. Material life means we have accumulated some unwanted things, just like this material body. This is also not wanted, but somehow or other we have developed this. And as we have got this material body, we have got so many material necessities of life. So, it is not that abruptly we have to give up, but by Yukta Vairagya, everything, the material activities, dovetailing with Krishna consciousness, it becomes gradually purified, and we come to the final stage of understanding Krishna. That is our success of life. Go on.
Karma, or fruits of activities, are sometimes understood to be ritualistic activities. There are many persons who are very much attracted by the ritualistic activities described in the Vedas. But if one becomes attracted simply to ritualistic activities without understanding Krishna, his activities are unfavorable to Krishna consciousness. Actually, Krishna consciousness can be based simply on hearing, chanting, remembering, etc. Described in the Srimad Bhagavatam are 9 different processes, besides which everything done is unfavorable to Krishna consciousness. Thus, one should always be guarding against fall downs.
So, we should directly take to the 9 different process of devotional service, Savanam Kirtanam Vishnu, that we are stressing specifically every time, that hearing about Krishna is very important, Savanam. As it is described in the Bhagavatam, Sinnatang Sakatha Krishna, Sinnatang. Simply hearing, Sinnatang, those who are hearing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also recommended Sthane Sthita Sutigatang Tanuang Manobhi. One may stay in his position as a Brahman, as a Kshatriya, as a Vaishya, or as a Shudra. Everyone can hear about Krishna. This assembly which we are holding, there is no such thing that only the Brahmanas will come here or the Kshatriyas will come here. Anyone can come and hear about Krishna. That is the process of Krishna Consciousness movement. We try to invite everyone from every corner of the world to hear about Krishna. And that is becoming successful also. Simply by hearing about Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And reading Bhagavad-gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, simply talking about Krishna, there becomes successful. So, we should take, in the Kali Yuga, it is very difficult to go step by step, it is not possible. Therefore, by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the easiest path has been recommended. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Iva Kiva. Kalo Nastiva, Nastiva, Nastiva Gatirannata. Actually, we cannot accept various paths for self-realization. That is not impossible. Sometimes because we give stress directly to accept this devotional service, people are not very much happy that we do not give any importance to the process of jnana and karma and yoga. We do not condemn, but they are very difficult. The yogic process, especially in Western countries, they are very much fond of the word yoga. We are therefore publishing this book. Krishna Consciousness is the topmost yoga. Actually, it is so. So, the yoga system or the jnana system or the karma kind of system, we do not make them null and void, but it will be very much slow form of progress. It will take long time. Neither it is possible to execute yoga system or karma system very properly in this age. Therefore, the best contribution to the people of this age is Krishna consciousness. Immediately take to Krishna, directly take to Krishna, and your life will be successful. Krishna also says, Sarvadharman Parityaj. The yoga system, karma system, jnana system, they may be taken as different types of religious path, but Krishna recommends not only at the present moment, but eternally he recommends. 5,000 years ago, he said, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam saranam. I will give you protection, ahamkar sarva pap. Go on.
Srila Rupa Goswami has also mentioned in this definition of bhakti the word jnana karmadi. This karmadi, or fruitive work, consists of activities which are unable to help one attain to pure devotional service. Many forms of so-called renunciation are also not favorable to Krishna conscious devotional service.
Yes. Karma, Rupa Goswami has directly recommended. Annavilashita sunnam jnana karma anabhritam. Actually, we find so many yogis, jnanis, karmis, they cannot understand even what is the benefit of this Krishna consciousness movement. Because we say directly take to devotional service, sometimes they are not satisfied. But what can be done? This is the process recommended. And we are preaching through the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended that this process of Krishna Kirtan, Parang Vijayate Krishna Sankirtan, Chetadarpanamarjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nipapanam, Sriyakairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadhu Jivanam Anandam Udivardhanam Prativadam Purnamita Swadanam Sarvatma Savanam Parang Vijayati Sri Krishna Sankirtan. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's blessings. Parang Vijayati Sri Krishna Sankirtan. So go anywhere and everywhere, chant Hare Krishna mantra, and you will become victorious. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's blessings. It is not our invention. And practically we are getting result. All over the world, our only means is to chant Hare Krishna mantra. Recently we have become victorious. Very recently in Melbourne, our men were being arrested and prosecuted. But one, the chief clergyman, Archbishop, he has recommended that these people are very nice people, God conscious. Don't give them trouble. Yes. And the government has stopped harassing. Now we are free to move on the street and go anywhere. This recent news we have got from Melbourne. Madhudhida Maharaj has sent this news. Similarly, we are harassed in London also and other places. In USA also, San Francisco, I do not know whether I harassed in New York, but more or less in Japan also, they are talking that you become bona fide religious organization, otherwise you cannot come on the street. So, although there is harassment by the governing agents, and still we are coming out successful. Parang Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtana. All glories to the Sri Krishna Sankirtana. Practically. So you stick to this principle, go on chanting Hare Krishna mantra anywhere it is possible, and you will be victorious. That is the blessings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Believe in it, and he will be successful. Yes, no?
Srila Rupa Goswami has also quoted a definition from the Narada Pancharatra as follows. Quote, one should be free from all material designations and must be cleansed of all material contamination by Krishna consciousness. He should be restored to his pure identity, where he engages his senses in the service of the proprietor of the senses. Unquote. So when our senses are engaged for the actual proprietor of the senses, that is called devotional service.
Rishikena Rishikesha Sevarang Bhakti Rucha. The bhakti, devotional service, does not mean inertness. Not simply sitting down or meditate. It is activity, engaging all the senses. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam. Rishik means these senses. Not these senses, but purified senses. Sarvapadhi Vinimukta. Just like Pranayrathai Dhiyavacha. Pran, life, Artha, riches, money, Dhiya, intelligence, and Vacha, speeches. So, everyone using, just like for national cause, people are engaging life. They are sacrificing life. So many, for attainment of independence in India, so many Indians gave up their life, prani. So many people gave up their everything. We know during national movement, Mr. C.R. Das, a great leader of the Congress crew, he sacrificed everything. He was a very big lawyer, barrister. He sacrificed his profession, he sacrificed his life, everything. So as we are sacrificing everything for attainment of some so-called national independence, the same thing, if we sacrifice for Krishna, then our life becomes successful. Pranayrathai dhiyavacha, sreya acharanam sana. So it is not inactivity. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or his followers, they were not inactive. They were acting. This Rupa Goswami, he was so active that he could not sleep at night even for more than 1.5 hours. They retired from the material activities. He was minister. He gave up his job and joined Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In old age, he came to Vrindavan, not to live a retired life, but a very active life. Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipuno, Sadharma Sanstapako, Lokanang Hitokarino, Tilumani Manno, Sarannakaru. Radha Krishna Padaramanda Bhajananandina Mattaliko, Bande Rupa Sanatana Raghujugo, Sri Jiva Gopalako. Here is sitting Sri Goswami ji is coming from Gopal Bhatta Goswami. So all these 6 Goswamis, they are not inactive. They are all active. As we are active in the karmi life, so bhakti life is also activity. It is not sitting down idly or gossiping. One must find out some job to serve Krishna. That is bhakti life. Rishikena rishikesha sevanam. Sevanam means activity. Sevanam does not mean sit down, idle, inert. No. As soon as seva means activity. One has to preach, one has to write, one has to do this, do that, cook, offer the prasadam, everything, seva, activity. So that activity and Kurmi's activity, there is difference. The Kurmi's activity is on upadhi. I am American, I am Indian, I am Hindu, I am Muslim, I am Christian. With this upadhi, we are active. But bhakti means without upadhi. Sarvapadhi minimum. Activity without upadhi. Working not as American. Working not as Indian. Working not as Hindu. Working not as Muslim. That is sarvapadhi vinimuktam tatparata nirmalam. If we think that I am Christian, I am Hindu, I am American, that is with upadhi. When we purely think that we are or I am servant of Krishna, my only business is to satisfy Krishna, that activity is called bhakti. If I become interested in some party, that is not. Sometimes people criticize these American and European devotees that they think that they are American devotee, we are Hindu devotee. There is difference. And this is not bhakti, man. This is upadhi. Why you should think yourself as Hindu? Why you should think of others who have come from America as American? That is less intelligence. Krishna Bhakta, Vaishnava Jati Buddhi. If one thinks of Vaishnava as belonging to this class, this nation, he has no vision. Naraki. That is called Naraki Buddhi. Vaishnavi Jati Buddhi. Archi Siladhi Gurusu Naramati Vaishnavi Jati Buddhi. If we think the deity as made of stone and made of wood, Archi Siladhi Gurusu Naramati. If we accept spiritual master as ordinary human being, Vaishnavi Jati Buddhi, and if we take a Vaishnava as belonging to America, Europe and India, no, they are transcendental. Neither the deity in the temple is stone, neither the spiritual master is ordinary human being, nor the Vaishnava belongs to any caste. This vision is perfect vision. When you come to this vision, that is bhakti. Tatparatena nirmalam. A bhakta has to become purified. Tatparatena. Being dovetailed with the service of Tat, Om Tat Sat, Tatparam. This is the process of devotional service. One should not be designated. I am this, I am that, I am that. No. The world should unite. This Krishna Consciousness movement is so nice that one should forget that he is Indian or Hindu or Christian or American or Indian. Everyone should unite as servant of Krishna. That is Bhakti Marg. Unfortunately, they distinguish between American Vaishnava and Indian Vaishnava, Brahmin Vaishnava, Shudra Vaishnava. No, a Vaishnava is Vaishnava. Vishnu Asya Devata iti Vaishnava. One who has accepted Vishnu as my Lord, he has no designation. A Vaishnava has no such distinction. Sarvapadi Vinimuktam. This is the sutra given by Narad. Tattenaiva Vinidishet. So we must follow the path of Mahajan, the instruction of the Acharya, then we can become purified. And unless we are purified, there is no question of pure devotion and service. Sabhakta prakita smritaha. If one does not want to become advanced, or if one does not want to become purified, then he remains a prakita bhakta. Prakita bhakta means executing devotion and service under the instruction of spiritual master and the regulative principles of Shastra, but he is still on the platform of material understanding. That is called Prakita Bhakta. A Prakita Bhakta cannot understand how another Bhakta is transcendental. A Prakita Bhakta cannot understand that Vrindavan is always transcendent. Therefore, Srila Jiva Goswami has discussed this point in his Tattva Sandhara, that we cannot accept any manufactured ideas because everyone is defective by the four defects of material life. We have to accept the version of Vedas, Puranas. He has tried to establish Puranas as Vedic supplementary. Others, they reject Puranas out of the Vedas. Jiva Goswami established all the Goswamis, just like Rupa Goswami has given. Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatri ki vidhim bina vaikanti ki Hare Bhakti utpata eva kalpati. It is utpat, disturbance. If you do not follow the principles of Shruti, Smriti, Puran, Pancharatri ki vidhi, just like we were discussing this point, Sarvapadhi Vinimuktam, this is Pancharatri ki vidhi. If we do not follow these principles, without following these principles, this so-called devotion and service, Hari Bhakti, utpa, simply disturbance. Simply disturbance. Therefore, we have to follow the principles laid down by the Goswamis. Sara Goswami, Bandi Rupa Sanatano Ragajigo, Sri Jiva Gopala. And then our attempt will be successful. Thank you very much.